Hello, I am Benjamin Griffin, and I was working with Elijah Romero on our project, the Virtual Sound Studio. So, the goal of our project was to build a virtual sound studio and make it interactable. And the idea is that it would be like you're actually playing the instruments. So, when you first load it up, it'll drop you in next to the instructions. The instructions let you know that there's a sound studio. Use the mouse to look around, use the arrow keys to move, and use left click to pick up and put down instruments. Now, the reason why I wouldn't use WASD like a normal game is because some of the instruments will use the ASD and W keys. Uh, so we've got one of our instruments here, the kalimba. Yeah, the synth. This one is built using an audio synthesizer, and it um, and the audio synthesizer essentially, whenever it starts up, it plays whatever note was programmed to be at default, which is a bug that I'll have to fix later. But yeah, so like a kalimba, the middle note in this case, uh, A, is the lowest note, which is played by the key G, and then the next highest would be F, the next highest is H, E, J, S, and K, and then, of course, if I were to go across the keyboard, you'd hear how it gets lower and then gets higher, kind of like how it would be if you're playing an actual kalimba. And also, like an actual kalimba, this does not, it doesn't play when you press down on the key, but actually when you release from it, kind of like if you were flicking it with your finger. You just kind of have to take my word for it that I'm releasing the finger when it plays the note. Generally, this is best played by just tapping the key anyway. So for a user, it doesn't really make a difference between pressing the button and whatnot. So I'm going to click, and then that will put away the instrument, and then I can click again to pick it back up. And then here we have the guitar. Now the guitar is not funny, it's a funky one. So the way that it works is that essentially uh, the Q, W, E, R, T, Y are used to select the different notes. This one just has the notes A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. And then you use your other finger to select what kind of chord it is. And in the instructions, it lists the order in which A, S, D, F, G modifies it. So if I wanted to play, for instance, A major, then I'd press Q and I'd press S, and then I would hit the space bar to strum the guitar. The guitar recordings are courtesy of Elijah. Much appreciated on that. I definitely could not do that with the synthesizer. So let's see. Let's say I wanted to do G suspended fourth, so that would be Y, F. And then if I wanted to change that to the seventh chord, then I could just hit the G. If I want to go minor, I could go D. And then I'm going to go to B major. And then B minor. So yeah, it's a fun thing to play around with. Uh, and on both of these instruments, I just kind of put a little flair on it. Like I wrote my initials on the guitar. I put a little character on the side there. And then on the kalimba, you might have seen the little flower design that I put in. Uh, Now, one other thing, the kalimba does use a synthesizer, but it is intentionally limited in the number of notes that you can play because it's like an actual kalimba. But I've kind of put a secret instrument in here. You might notice how the cursor kind of glows red whenever you hover over an instrument. Well, the microphone is no exception, and this is just to showcase that um, had we the time and resources to like construct models and textures for other instruments, it would be very easy to kind of just turn like modify the synthesizer to play other notes. So yeah, that's the virtual audio workstation, or not virtual audio workstation, a virtual studio. Yeah, this isn't a workstation. You can't save anything that you do here. It's just kind of a playground to have fun with. But yeah, so when you want to leave, then you can just hit escape and the game closes.